Welcome, everybody, to the College Football Preview Show on the Grizzly True Sports Network. Today, we're going to look at the Big 12 championship matchup between the Iowa State Cyclones and the Arizona State Sun Devils. I don't think this is a matchup many people predicted at the start of the year for the Big 12 championship game, but it's what we got. It's a very interesting game. Arizona State's one of the hottest teams in the country. The point spread on this game started off as Iowa State as a 1.5 to 2 point favorite. It's already flipped. Arizona State being favored by 2.5 points. I think this could get to 3 or 3.5 by the time we get to game time Saturday. If you want to bet Arizona State, I would bet them now just so you're only given 2 or 2.5 points. And the best place to bet that is at BetMGM, the top sports book for betting on college football. Make sure you check them out. You can click the links in the description down below if you're watching on YouTube. I'm your host, Mike Goodpaster. Today, we're going to break this game down. We're going to look at all the key matchups, and we're going to give you who we think will win the game. Now, this is going to be under the bright lights of AT&T Stadium in Dallas. Arizona State and Iowa State will clash for the Big 12 championship on Saturday, December the 7th. This is a matchup brimming with stakes and storylines. Arizona State rolls into the title game off a dominant 49-7 rivalry victory over the Arizona Wildcats. Steady and relentless Iowa State secured a spot with a gritty 29-21 victory against Kansas State, displaying the resilience that defines championship contenders. With a college football playoff berth on the line, who will emerge in this Big 12 championship game? I mean, you've got a red-hot Arizona State team that's been blowing people out. You've got an Iowa State team that's just relentless, breaks people down, and beats them. Now, these are two teams with identical records, but very vastly different paths to this Big 12 championship game. Arizona State, predicted to finish last in the conference, finds itself here after a dominant win over Arizona. Iowa State, coming off a hard-fought victory over Kansas State, needed a BYU win over Houston to punch his ticket. These teams have never met, but the stakes could not be higher. This is Dillingham's second year with Arizona State. He's transformed the Sun Devils into a conference contender following last season's 3-9 disappointment. Running back Cameron Scadaboo, that's a messed up name, has been the cornerstone of Arizona State's success, amassing 1,221 rushing yards, 14 touchdowns, 460 receiving yards. Wow, quarterback Sam Levitt has been sharp, throwing for 2,441 yards, 21 touchdowns. The Sun Devils could be without star wide receiver Jordan Tyson, who left last week's game in a sling. That would be a huge loss for this offense. Iowa State, making its second Big 12 title game appearance, leans on quarterback Rocco Becht, who has 2,884 passing yards, 18 touchdowns, and an additional 6 scores on the ground. However, the Cyclones' Achilles heel is their run defense, ranked 99th in the FBS, facing ASU's 32nd ranked rushing attack, led by Scadaboo, will test their endurance. This game may hinge on turnovers. If Becht and the Cyclones can protect the ball, they can compete. But Arizona State's ground game seems poised to wear down Iowa State's defense, securing possibly an improbable championship run for Arizona State. Now, the point spread right now is -2.5. I would actually bet this point spread all the way to -4. I think Arizona State is playing better. They have more ways to beat Iowa State than Iowa State does them. Let's face it, for Iowa State to win, they're going to have to slow down the run. They're going to have a hard time doing that against this Arizona State running attack. Arizona State's quarterback has played much better as of late. Iowa State is a team that will stay in the game and find a way to win. Arizona State could open this up early, get up 14-0, 17-0, even 10-0, and it really changes the dynamics of what the Iowa State Cyclones are going to try to do. Now, I don't like to overlook a team like Iowa State because there's a lot to be said for a resilient, scrappy team who always figures out a way to win. But Arizona State is the team to take in this game. I'm going to take Arizona State. I'm going to give it 2.5. I'll give it if it gets to 3, 3.5, or 4. I think Arizona wins this game 31-17, 31-20 in that area. And the Arizona State Sun Devils are headed to the college football playoffs if they do, which is something nobody predicted at the start of this season. And I think that's what is going to make this college football playoff so much like March Madness. You've got teams like Indiana, Arizona State. You'll have Boise State or UNLV possibly in this. And I think that brings up the interest even. You'll have the Cinderella stories in the college football tournament, just like you do in the college basketball tournament. And that's great for college football. The SEC and the Big Ten are still the two best conferences, but the SEC doesn't seem as dominant as what it once was, even though top to bottom, they're probably the best league. The top half of the Big Ten, the top four teams, is probably better than the SEC this year. Then you've got the ACC championship game, which we'll talk about later. SMU against Clemson. You could have SMU, Indiana, and Arizona State, and possibly like a Boise State in the college football Final 12. That's great for college football. It's great for football in general. And if you want to bet on these college football playoffs, the best sports book to do that at's BetMGM. You can click on the description below if you're watching on YouTube. If not, either way, get the BetMGM. They have great sign-on bonuses, quick payouts, everything you could ask from a sports book. Make sure you follow me at Grueling Truth on X. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification on YouTube. Make sure you check out thegruelingtruth.com. But for now, guys, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.